Right. Mr. Bettero.
Thank you, Judge.
Honestly, go fuck yourself, sir. You don't say that, okay? You don't lose a trial where a jury acquits someone and finds overwhelmingly not guilty and say, I gave my sincere obligation to look into this, and I'm telling you all I saw when she's guilty. Again, respectfully, go fuck yourself.
Is that a fair characterization? I think that, Your Honor.
I want to hear objection before I hear a word out of your mouth.
Objection.
Overruled. Sit down. Oh, I said overruled. Sit down.
Swear again like that. That was, no, I mean, whatever. That was, I shouldn't have done that.
A few moments later.
You, as a prosecutor, have got to be out of your fucking mind.
Dude, Jimmy, look at those ears.
The ears don't bother me as much.
No, I don't trust a man. I don't trust a man with a lobe like that. No,
really,
not a fucking chance.
The mouth is butthole to me.
Very thin, paper thin.
The nose.
Oh, the nose.
The brows.
Well, listen, I will tell you though, I kind of like a fucked up nose on a guy.
I like a big old honker. I like a big nose.
Big old nose. Give me that big bitch. You know?
Yeah,
like, I'm into it.
Come over here, cluck cluck.
Yeah.
I see some chickens that went all up in my biz, cluck cluck. You gotta be with the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids, kids.
And I go, oop, clutch, clench, kegel. We did it all. And I go, oh, and what happened? And they go, well, we just got 4,000 plus pages, bitch. And I said, stop it. Show me it. Take me to Unimpound Town immediately, if not sooner. So what happens?
The bitch is here.
Why are you at a football game? Are you a Fonz correspondent?
Well, no, because it's only for men over 30. Okay? Have a great night, boys. Fuck off.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Hey, Blues Clues, motherfucker.
Hello, lovies. How are we? Sorry, is she here? Today is June 19th, 2026. And can we not just show Meatball Morrissey, Sketty Stains, air conditioning? Yes. Jeez. Okay. And it's Friday and I'm late because why? I'm always late. I'm always going to be late. That's what I do. I apologize in advance. Your time is precious. I'm an asshole. But I know why you're here. Okay. Are you here? Because the title of today's stream is the exit interview. And is this going to be my exit interview? God only knows. But I don't want to ruin your Juneteenth, your federal holiday. But we're going to have a little bit of a sermon, I hope. I hope that this stream is one that is not going to divide. It's not going to pile on. I just think that I have a unique perspective in having relationships with Aiden and with Jess that are very complex and that have been layered throughout time, and that I want to share. And so I want you to bear with me, okay? Because sometimes you need to go back to the beginning in order to find your way to the end. Okay? So I'm not going to look at the chat. You know this. You know it. And I don't want to get hives. But, yesterday was the year anniversary of hearing not guilty, not guilty, not guilty at Norfolk Superior Court. And that day I remember, and a lot of you remember that day. And it was very powerful. It was everyone together. It was feeling a sense of relief and following something to the end And knowing that although justice was served for Karen not being convicted of a crime she didn't commit, there was also like a profound sadness that day for Officer John O'Keefe and for his family, because they didn't have closure and they didn't have justice for what they so desperately were looking for. And like in a juxtaposition of that, to remember where we came from at that moment, and then to tune in and see a conversation between Jessica Lim and Aiden that was hard to watch for me. I saw Jessica come in and, like, guys, listen, I know these people in a way. I've never really like hung out with Jess because we haven't had that opportunity. And I've been with Aiden at like an Apostles' Supper and at different events. And so I've seen them outside of online. And I have a different relationship with each of them. And I know for myself that it was a long path for me to get where I am today with Jess. But I'm thankful. And I think that if I can explain some things to you from the beginning that I haven't talked about ever, it may make sense. Okay? And you may understand why I have the position or I have the take on it that I do. Okay. So after the verdict, after last year, after all that heightened emotion and all the things we were feeling, we understood, I think collectively, that Karen would need some time off, a time for her to find her way back after fighting for your life for as many years as she did. And it made sense that she didn't do interviews immediately. So we all just were sitting back and being like, okay, now what's next? And then something happened and it kind of shifted a dynamic with all of us. And it was, I feel, the Howie Carr interview. And it was a little shocking because although Howie had done great work and covered Karen's case beautifully in his own way, on his own platform, it felt like a slight at the time that there was not a go-to to Aiden because Alan Jackson had gone to Aiden's show. And, you know, that was a little bit of a, like, nobody saw it coming, I think, for a lot of us. And so Karen goes on to Howie Carr's show, and it's not like a real interview. It's just an appearance, if you will. And Howie was talking about his book, and then Aiden reacted to that. And he reacted out of a place of hurt. And he would be the first to tell you that. And this was right before we were going to do a huge thing for Aiden. Aiden had sold out the Wilbur. It was a big deal. Jimmy was going to MC it, and Aiden was going to do it. And I had been asked to just do a mean tweet section of the Wilbur. And I was like, duh, I'll be there with bells on, bitches. And so I hadn't ever really spoken to Aiden prior to that because there was a little bit of a separation of church and state. Yeah, I covered Karen's case since pre-trial 1, and I always knew and gave credit that Aiden was the one who broke her story, who covered her story, and whose journalism was the reason we were there at that day and through those 2 trials. But I never had a personal relationship with him. And right before the Wilbur happened, he asked for my phone number in a DM on X. And I was like, duh, because he wanted to talk about the mean tweets. And I absolutely did it. We had done the horror tour. He had come on to my show and to a bunch of other shows. So it was a good time. And I was happy to talk to him about the mean tweets. So, long story short, if you are going to tell a story, I have to tell all the story. And there has not been a place or a time in which I felt kind of comfortable enough to say it, but I think that today is the day. And it's okay because I know that Aiden has addressed it on his program enough. And I have to come clean about something and ask for forgiveness afterwards. So in the early part of September, I talked to Aiden and he called me on the phone. And that phone call, little did I know, would end up changing like the trajectory of where things went. And he called and he was like sad. He was having a bad day because of an argument. And after the car interview, like it just sucked for him. And I was trying to talk him off the ledge with it and saying like, you and Karen are always better together. And it'll all work out. And that trying to be a peacemaker with it, of saying like, of course, you guys can get into an argument, you can get into a fight, and it will work out. Well, during that phone call, there was a small part of an audio played, at which time I thought was like a voicemail, because it sounded like a voicemail from Karen to Officer John O'Keefe, and she was pissed. And it was not presented as like, hey, here is an illegal recording, or hey, I did this. No, it was just, can you believe she fucking said this? And he was mad and sad. And I didn't really think much of it at the time. And then we have the Wilbur, and we have like a very great time at that show. And I think it was like the peak. It was like peak Aiden, peak community, peak Jimmy. And everybody came together. And then a couple weeks later, there was a Spaces. And on this Spaces, Flip brought to light that there was a recording. And this was like a recording gate was born. And it was Lily, and it was the koala. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, there is a recording. And I'm thinking like, not even in the realm of that I'm a part of this. I'm just like, holy shit. And then shortly after that, there was a text message that was leaked. And this is all at the end of September. And the text message that was leaked was from Meredith. And she said that Aiden, she implicated that it was me, that Aiden had played something for me, for Will, and for 2 other people. And I was like, what the fuck? And it started down a path of really a bad time for me and for you and for a lot of people. And this time was not only stressful for me, like online and like being hated by everyone, but also like my personal life had followed apart. Like had fallen apart as well. So like September was a bad month. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't know how much more of like a pylon and like shoes falling off from me that I can handle right now. And yet more happens, right? Like more goes on. And there is sides that are taken within the Free Karen Reed community. And there's no way for us to really find our footing again. And I think that yesterday is a culmination of us not finding that footing. And it makes me sad. And like, okay, so other things occur. I don't need to get into all of them, but there additionally to the Karen Aiden audio, there is a Flip and Olivia audio. And this was brought to light and it sucked. It sucked because there was more accusation that like I was the person who did this to Flip. And this was by Flip. Flip was the one who was like, Kim, you were the only one who knew about this. You were the only one who could have done this. And it caused a lot of stress for me. And so there was a point where I call Aiden and I say, Aiden, I have to say that I didn't mean to like be a part of this in any way. And that I'm going to just say I heard like less than a minute of it, whatever it was that fucking happened that day that I'm thinking like a dumbass is a is a voicemail. Right. And my friend, says to me, Kim, I can't tell you what to do. And he didn't tell me what to do. But he said that, if we do say that there is a recording, then that's admitting that it exists. And then I could be violated for my parole. And I could be taken from my kids. And I'm like, in that moment, I made a decision, guys. And that decision was that I don't speak on it. Like, it's like, because there's real life consequences. And it was wrong. But I feel like at the time I was in a really shitty spot. And I didn't want anyone to be hurt. And my intention is never to hurt anybody. And I don't want to hurt Karen. I don't want to hurt Aiden. I don't want to hurt anyone. And it ended up being me who gets hurt as well. Like in the whole of it. Because it was a long time and a lot of months of people just coming for you. And no matter how I tried to say that, like, I didn't do this to anybody. I didn't send anything. Like, yes, I'm an asshole and I heard something for a minute. But other than that, I wasn't like the devil that everyone had made it out to be. And so then there's an additional layer. And that additional layer is that the breakup between Aiden and Meredith had really kind of spiraled into affecting other creators and other people, because there was like threatening, like not real threatening, but like threatening in a way of, what I could do to you, right? Like I could say whatever about you and do this to you. And so Jess says, well, I heard it. And she is saying, I heard it because of a defense mechanism of, I don't know what is capable of coming from another direction. Meanwhile, I am losing my shit. And I am saying, what is happening? And if Jess is saying that she heard this and that she knows that Will and I heard this, which Will is not in this is just me, then that is putting additional pressure, and this is never going to die out. It'll never go away. And so I was in a spot where her and I were just jamming and butting heads, and it was rough. And it was really rough for me because, and it's been told now that like when Jess sent me the DM that she did on Twitter, the initial one that she wanted to work with me, I had a vibe check that like Erin, her producer, did not like me. I felt that like in my bones, in my soul, in my spirit, that she, like every time she'd pull up a comment, and if it was mine, it was just like the vibe was not there. And I was like, if that's her best friend and that is someone whom she trusts, then, and if she doesn't like me, that I'm feeling this like I felt, then I didn't want it to be weird, or I didn't feel like I was welcome there at that time. And she didn't know that. Jess didn't know that because I didn't tell her that. And she's feeling like she's not welcome online with us because we had been, streaming and covering this for however long we had before her. And so Jess and I continue to have a kind of rough go at it until New Year's. And then on New Year's Eve, Jimmy speaks to Jess and he says, hey, why don't you jump on Kim's stream tonight? And that was the first time that we opened communication to each other. And it was like a window opening. And then after that, there was some KMS drama, some Minifan drama, if you will, Pat Ford. And that put us back onto a rocky place. And then in January, we had a phone call that for me changed a lot. Because I had explained on the phone to Jess what was happening in my life. And I don't know why I opened up, because why would I open up? Or why would she hear me when we didn't have that relationship? But I just said I wanted to talk to her, and she made time for me. And I explained, she asked me, like, can you just tell me what really was going on with the fucking DM, Kim? And I told her. And she was like, bitch, why didn't you tell me this before? And then I got into like what was happening privately at the time. And she was kind to me when she didn't need to be. And I had felt for like a lot of months that like nobody had my back. And it's okay because like you don't need anyone to have your back, but it meant something to me. And it's just hard for me to see what yesterday was and what like has been a couple of weeks prior now. Because I know what it feels like. And I have empathy. And I don't like seeing any of us, in a spot like this. And what I saw yesterday felt to me, and again, this is just my opinion, guys. Like I felt like Aiden came in hot, and that was out of a place of hurt. And I felt like Jess did not come in hot. And it felt like she was seeing in real time someone whom you've had a friendship with and you not see eye to eye with each other. And I think that she was realizing maybe that you're never going to see eye to eye on what you were talking about. And I don't think that her tears, I don't think any of that was a performance. I saw someone who only wants the best, I think, for Aiden. Just like I want the best for Aiden. Just like I want Aiden to beat his charges. And he is innocent of his charges. And it just sometimes hits you right in the uterus when you are like, I don't know how we got here. And if we're keeping it a buck, everything that everyone was saying about Jess, that like, oh, she's a liability, or oh, she doesn't keep any secrets, or oh, she doesn't do this. I said every one of those things to Aiden about Jess 7 months ago. 7 months ago. Because I felt like I didn't get it. I didn't get her. And I was like, what the fuck? She keeps saying that. Like, what is happening right now? And now I feel very differently. And I feel very differently, and I see things very differently. So maybe, and this is all my take, guys. You can take it or leave it. Tell me to go pound sand. I get it. But maybe I'm just 6 months ahead of the curve. And listening to that conversation, there were a couple of takeaways that I had. So I just want to talk about the actual exit interview. When it came to the Broken Baker and the J7 situation, I have absolutely, I don't believe, in my opinion, that J7, or I don't think she's ever said that there was anything non-consensual that happened. So it's like a non-starter for me. I'm not interested in that part of it. And I'm not interested in whoever is using a pocket puss or whatever we're doing. But if I don't think that was a journalistic thing that Jess was doing. She wasn't like breaking a story. She was just saying what her girlfriend had said. And I also thought it was maybe a low blow to call it about like her journalism, because I kind of recall back when all the shit was going down in Recording Gate that there were comments made about James Jackson and his girlfriend, or his former girlfriend, God rest her soul. And that wasn't journalistic integrity either. It was just comments. And I made a turkey and meth shirt. And I've apologized to James Jackson for that. So if we're going to listen, if I'm going to call out other people's behavior or say what I'm feeling here, I'm going to take accountability for myself as well. That was shitty. I thought it was funny, and then it wasn't funny. And I get that. And I've had private conversations with James Jackson about that. And then when there was comments about Jess's husband, I understand that that's like a male thing. I get, I don't know, maybe I'm a girl, I don't get it. But like, guys typically stick up for their women, right? Like, it doesn't matter that Jess is online. He was just, like, I felt, putting his 2 cents in and standing up for his woman. I didn't find it egregious or offensive, but maybe the boys do on a different level. But I know for certain that when Aiden posted, like, from what it was, a sock account that was Meredith's sock account, posted my job, Aiden was making a point by saying Meredith is saying that people are calling her job while posting Kim's job. But that of posting my job put 165 or however many thousand people's eyes on my place of employment. And it was unintended. Aiden had no intention to have me be in a problem here, or that to cause me problems. But it did, and it could have. So I know Montante reached out to him privately and texted him and said, hey, can you not put Kim's job? Like, can you not post that? And that was him. Like, I wasn't even with him, but I found out afterwards that, like, he had sent him a text. And there's no problems there. So I feel like that's a natural thing. And I feel like if a girlfriend wanted to stick up for Aiden, I would expect a girlfriend to stick up for Aiden as well. And I say all that to say this. None of us are perfect. And we're real people. And we have real flaws. And sometimes other people are going to catch strays that are not intended. But when you're catching the strays, it feels like a lot on you. And I think that emotions have run high for a while. And when you know kind of polarizing characters and polarizing people like Aiden, like Jessica, they're going to stir things in you. Like I swear to God, initially when I would see Jess, I would go from being laughing and thinking she was so funny and then being like, nope, nope. like what is happening inside of me? What was it that was triggered in me? Like, you can't talk about money. Why? You can't say that you deserve to be paid for going on a guy's show that he's making significant money on. Why? Because I danced for a long time around egos of men and always wanted to make sure that there wasn't fighting, whether it was Mr. McDonough, Sean McDonough, El Jefe, Papa Sean. And I didn't want Aiden and him fighting. And I didn't want Mike Crawford or Will to fight. So I kind of would maybe shrink myself, not physically because I'm a big bitch, but you know what I mean? I would try to shrink myself so that it wasn't upsetting to them, or that I could keep them like on the right path of some sort. And that's not my job. And they're grown men. And if they paid her to be on the show, then they thought she was worth it to pay. So I want to read something because I think it's means something to me. Maybe it won't to you. But I was looking up like when you're triggered by someone and what that could mean, because I think all of us can just look inward on certain things. And it could be like a trauma response. It could be like that they remind you of something from your childhood. It could be because maybe you want to say the things that they say, but it's like your amygdala. It's your subconscious that notices something in someone before you do, before your brain even clocks it. And I had that firsthand. And now when I listen to Jess's show, and I do listen to Jess's show, it sounds to me like how it is when I talk to my best friend on the way to work in the morning. And I think that that's what she is for a lot of people. And Jess can be that for a lot of people without talking about anybody else. Because all you want to talk about with your best friend is everything on your way to work. And for us as women, that is from our kids, from dropping them off at school and sports, to wanting to punch our husbands in the dick, to what movie you saw, to when are we getting our hair done next, to did you see what this bitch posted online? It's all the things. And that's what I think the show is about. All the things. And if you don't get it, that's okay. Maybe it's just we all have our opportunity of watching what we want to watch. And I don't want to see anyone shit on ever. I didn't like it when it happened to me. And if you think that like Jess is the only one, I saw a comment from someone somewhere that said that I might have done more apologizing to Jess than Jess did to me. I want to let you know that that's not true. And that I only want to support women, all the women. I want to support the men. I want to support the people who support the causes, the ideals, and for justice. And I don't want division. And I don't want anyone to feel like they're an island of one. The other day, we were texting, Jess and I, and she wrote back to me just a little something at the bottom. And she said, I had written previously to her unsolicited comment, told her that she had the #1 morning show in all the continental US. And she wrote, unsolicited comment, I love you in a way only someone who never met you before can. And that's my talk. That's my talk. I support Jess. Support Aiden. I feel like don't count them out. I feel like they could work things out together. And that friends go through shit. But before you type everything you want to type, and before you want to be cruel to anyone, like that's what you have to live with, is what you do. We don't have any control over others. And how you respond is on you. So just be good to yourselves and be good to each other. And that's it. It's 2 minutes till the United States plays. Go the US. I hope Menners loses everything today. Okay? All right. Bye, guys.